There's only 3 sniper rifles that can one-shot: the MCPR, FJX Imperium, and Victus. But which one is the best of these 3 right now? Let's look at bullet velocity, ADS time, fire rate, and ammunition. And also provide you with a loadout and a tuning screenshot. Let's first have an eye on the most important stat, the bullet velocity. The base is actually the same throughout all the guns. They have a 780 meter per second bullet velocity. The base ADS time though is quite different. We have 600 on the MCPR being number 2. The Victus has 625, so being the slowest. And also the FJX Imperium has the 580, which is the fastest. That's base bullet velocity without a single attachment. Now putting on the explosive round, we're going to have minus 45% bullet velocity. So we'll have to counter that with maximum velocity attachments or putting on the Raptor side. That's a whole different build. So we'll start with maximum velocity attachments at first. And if we put 3 attachments on the MCPR, we end up with 687 meters per second velocity and 722 ADS time. Whereas the Victus XMR is only at 606 velocity. Yes, absolutely dumpsters, and 725 ADS time, followed up by the FJX Imperium, which is 711 in velocity, so the best, but also 736 in ADS time. Now, I don't want to dumpster the Victus, but so far it's come out twice on the bottom. And if we actually look at the fire rate, it's only at a 36 fire rate. You might notice that the recocking speed is quite low, whereas the MCPR has a 41 and the FJX even has a 44 fire rate base. That sounds minimal, but it's all about hitting these follow-up shots in case you missed your one-shot headshot. And that is what the MCPR and the FJX easily to achieve, where the Victus might struggle if you're not taking the rechamber bullet, therefore not being able to take an ADS time attachment. Now, an interesting thing is, and I think it's not talked enough about, the ammunition on every single sniper rifle. You have 10 ammo on the MCPR, 5 on the Victus, and 5 on the FJX. Now, you can get 5 ammo gone on the MCPR to actually get a way better ADS time. But hold on a minute, 10 bullets is great, because what often happens is you take a sniper shot, then you reposition, take a sniper shot, reposition, take a sniper shot. In between those repositions with a 5-round mag, you would have to reload as soon as you hit 3 or 2 bullets. Whereas with the MCPR, you're a bit more agile and mobile about your repositioning simply because you don't have to reload. You do 1 shot, 2, 3, you have 7 bullets left. Even if you take 5 shots and reposition, you still don't have to reload, therefore making you an overall more agile player. Now, if I put 5 attachments on, trying to go for maximum bullet velocity, and then min-maxing with stocks and lasers for ADS time, the Victus and the MCPR are both at 651 and 649 milliseconds, whereas the FJX Imperium is at 665 milliseconds ADS time, so slightly slower, whilst the bullet velocity is more or less the same on all 3, which means best velocity 30 faster on the FJX, but slightly slower ADS time. That being said, the Victus is completely out. So right now the race is essentially between the MCPR and the FJX, whereas the MCPR has the 10 bonus bullets and the FJX only has the 5 bullets, but a faster fire rate. Now there's another thing I haven't mentioned yet, and that would be the Raptor side. The Raptor side is the scope where you can actually determine the bullet drop, where you can hit the shift button and you can see how much it's going down. That is a very interesting thing to look at, especially for someone who's learning to shoot with explosive ammo. If you don't yet know how much the bullet drop is going to be, well, easy squeezy as it is, you just aim, press shift, and you know how much bullet drop you're going to have. Now, the downside of the Raptor scope is it adds a 40 milliseconds ADS time, but if you know how much the bullet drop is, do you really need maximum velocity? Yes, maximum velocity is still good on running targets, but leading is quite simple. And once you have the lead, you only need to know the drop. But you know the drop already, so you only need to figure out the lead for every single shot. And that's quite easy. And with that consideration, we could actually leave the barrel of the gun. And that means for the MCPR and the FJX, they end up at a 608 meters per second bullet velocity, both of these guns, but their ADS time gets tremendously better. The FJX Imperium drops down to a 607 milliseconds, whereas the MCPR is still at a 637. Considering here that we're using a bonus ADS attachment that is not the magazine, if we would do the magazine, the MCPR would drop sub 600. But again, I do believe that 10 rounds is really truly what makes the MCPR the king. Now, looking at the direct comparison, the FJX Imperium would be considered better because of the fire rate and the ADS time, with the caveat of only having 5 bullets. So here you're essentially down to choose your poison if you wish to play a Raptor build to hit your opponents. You can either take the 10 bullets, and we talked about it, being able to reposition and not having to constantly reload, or you're going for the more aggressive approach. You're going to take the FJX Imperium, and then you get these faster follow-up shots happening and quicker ADS time, which also works good for repositioning because you just literally ADS time faster. Now, this is considered for long-range sniping, and I do believe there's more choose your poison than a real number 1 at this point. But what about quick sniping? What about these, I am a very aggressive player and I try to get my opponents down on 100 meters and below. Instead of using a Raptor sight, I'm going to be using a lower magnification scope to hit my shots harder. And here we're only going to look at the MCPR and the FJX because due to the fire rate of the Victus, it's already out. And here's actually crazy because we can replace the sight and the ammunition on the MCPR together with the FSS OV laser, and you bring this down to the 608 bullet velocity because you're not using the barrel, still rocking the nil sound silencer, but you get a 510 milliseconds ADS time on the MCPR. Where the FJX Imperium, and I was really surprised by this, can actually go down to a 501 meters per second due to the rear grip being absolutely efficient on this gun. So 608 meters per second bullet velocity, a better fire rate, and a slight faster ADS time than actually the MCPR. This has really blown me a little bit away. I wasn't aware that the FJX was actually performing that good statistic-wise, especially if you take the right attachments and tune them the right way. So quick sniper, definitely the FJX. When it comes down to long-range sniper, choose your poison. For the MCPR Raptor build, you need the explosive rounds, tune that for bullet velocity and damage range, followed up by the muzzle with the nil sound 90 on more bullet velocity and aim down sight speed. Laser, the FSS OV with the aim down sight speed and sprint to fire. Barrel is not going to be taken. Then the magazine stays. We talked about it. We don't want to go down to the 5. We're going to take the stock here actually, which is the Merc, and we can tune this for even more aiming stability and aim down sight speed. Plus, last but not least, the actual Raptor all the way back here, tuning this to its close and aim down sight speed. With the stock, you have a bonus of aiming stability, your sway's not that bad, then you press shift and you adjust your sight and boom, hit that headshot on any distance. Now, if you want to turn that into the quick sniper we have been talking about, the Raptor gets replaced through a lower magnification sight, and that's everything from the aggressor down, bullseye, Cronin, and Forge Tech Delta. Taking the Forge Tech Delta for close and aim down sight speed. We take the Merc stock off and we put the 5-round mag on, making this extremely quick in the ADS time. Yes. And you can hit your shots with great bullet velocity. Keep in mind, drop is exactly the same as for the Raptor. For the FJX Imperium, we start with the explosive rounds as well, tuning this towards bullet velocity and damage range. A muzzle is the nil sound silencer as before with bullet velocity and aim down sight speed. Then for the optic with the Raptor all the way back here on close and aim down sight speed. No barrel, laser, VLK LZR on aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. And as the last attachment, you can take the stock here. That would be crouch movement speed, sprint to fire speed, aim to sight speed, sprint to fire speed. So it's actually really good what you all get. Aiming idle stability and sprint to fire. Or in this case, because for this gun, the thing that gives you the most ADS is actually the Skull 40, which you then can tune for aiming idle stability and aim down sight speed as well. Makes it go relatively fast. And again, press shift, adjust, hit your shots. Now to make this faster, same formula. You take the Raptor, pull it over to everything below the aggressor, here with the Forge Tech Delta as well for close and aim down sight speed. And we already have the Skull 40 going on. There's not much more to change. You essentially save yourself 40 and you get minus 60. You get 100 milliseconds better ADS time by changing the sight, which then leads to this absolute super quick one. Movement as well, even though the MCPR with the 5-round mag feels a bit whippersnap here. And then you just missed your shot because you're a bit too overeager. 4 fantastic choices. Which one is it you're going to go for? And if you're now struggling with what to pair with these guns, no problem. I get you covered with the absolute top tier sniper supports.